Welcome everyone to an incredible story that's sure to captivate. Imagine a world where vending machines and magical creatures come together in an intriguing narrative. Reborn as a vending machine, now I wander the dungeon. Our main character, a big fan of vending machines, meets an ironic fate and the very things he loves. But fate takes a surprising twist as he wakes up in a mystical realm as, you guessed it, a vending machine. Join us as we follow this thinking vending machine on an unexpected journey, winning over hearts and forming alliances without saying a word. It's a story that shows even the most stationary objects can have a significant impact in a lively world. An unnamed man drowsily wakes up near a lake and starts to wonder how he got there when he remembers traveling on a scooter when he noticed a vending machine being transported on a large car was about to fall off. Out of options, he increased the speed of his scooter to catch up with the vehicle, but the machine topples over and crashes into him, which causes him to lose the scooter's balance and fall over the bar cliff side with it. The man then comes to the conclusion that he has been reincarnated as a vending machine. He tries to move but finds out that he can neither move nor speak save for a few automatic words and sentences. He then proceeds to check his limits and capabilities and finds a menu present in his brain showing the items he's selling along with 1,000 points. The points are used to run the machine, which uses 1 point per hour. Seeing that he can also buy new items for his machine, he makes a few changes and calculates that he needs 24 points to run per day. So he has enough to last him a month, but without any customers, he'll die after his points. The next day he sees a giant frog the size of a human being walking towards him. Once it gets close enough, it starts to attack the machine with a large stick. The man begins panicking and sees that he only has 100 durability points, which are rapidly decreasing as the frog keeps landing blows. He tries to find another option and sees one labeled blessing. He uses it and employs the barrier function, which sets up a large barrier between him and the frogs. The frogs keep relentlessly attacking the barrier but eventually get tired and leave. Later, he recovers his durability and sees that he only has 311 points left. At this rate, he'll last over 10 days before breaking down and becoming unusable. Several days later, as he wishes he could have sold at least one drink before dying, a hungry hunter arrives and happily buys 4 corn soups, 2 cartons of milk, and a water bottle. The next day, the girl introduces herself as Lamis and asks him if he would like to come with her to her friend, who's trying to invent devices with magical powers. They devise a method of communication where he only answers with yes or no, and they set off for her village. After arriving there, Lamis sets it up near an inn where she works, and it slowly gains a lot of popularity from the people. By changing the items steadily so people don't get bored of them, the machine becomes really famous, and all the people living there keep buying food from it. One day while Lamis is carrying him back from the guard's post to the inn, she decides to name him Boxo. The director of the Hunters Association, who is a literal bear, comes to meet Lamis and Boxo and asks them if they would join them on an expedition to defeat the frog fiends. He says that they don't need to participate in the actual fighting, but rather provide fresh food for the hunters since it is invaluable in long journeys such as this one. Both of them agree, and they set off for the long journey. While on their way, Captain Carryoil is the first one to buy food from him, after which he becomes a big hit in the camps. When it's time for dinner, Boxo takes his chance and stocks fresh, ready-to-eat cup noodles, which are a huge hit, especially in the chilly weather. Later at night, the director makes his way to Lamis and Boxo and asks them if they'd like to join the actual battles. Both agree without hesitation, and Boxo vows to protect her in the battle because she's his first customer and best friend. The next day as they head into battle, Lamis finds out that carrying Boxo on her back stabilizes her balance and makes it easier for her to hit enemies. Her group swiftly defeats the fiends along with occasional help from Boxo, and they decide to head to the front lines to help the leading fighters and rapidly thin out the enemies. Once they've defeated the fiends, the director tells them that there's a likely chance of a king fiend amongst the enemies, so he decides to take Carryol's group Menagerie of Fools to defeat it and asks Lamis and Boxo to stay behind and help the wounded. That night, a hunter tries to steal food from Boxo by picking his lock, but he is rewarded with a red-hot can of soup that burns his hands. Lamis catches and disarms him quickly when they hear the loud noise of gigantic feet and see that the King Frog Fiend is menacingly walking towards them. Lamis quickly loads Boxo and a few injured onto a cart and tries to pull it away but tires out quickly. Seeing this, Boxo hurriedly looks for items that can help them in the fight and finds the perfect match. First, he drops large bottles of cola, then changes his shape and deposits many packets of mints, and tries to convey it through his limited vocabulary. One man accidentally stuffs the mints inside the cola bottle, which makes the liquid gush out of the bottle like a fountain. Lamis finally understands, and all the hunters fill their cola bottles with mints and spray it at the Fiend's eyes, which buys time. The other hunters, along with the director and Carriol, arrive and take the beast down. After they've defeated the Fiend, the hunters thank Boxo and start the return journey victoriously. The party returns to the village and sees smoke rising from its buildings from a distance. They hurry over, and Lamis hurries over to the inn to see if her friends Munami and Mrs. are alright, but they're nowhere to be seen. Boxo quickly comforts her, and they find out that a gigantic two-headed snake, which is the natural enemy of the frog fiends, attacked the village in their absence. Still, the guards were able to immobilize and defeat it in time. Lamis asks about her friends, and the guards tell her that they're perfectly safe in the building of the Hunters Association. That night, all the people gather in the village square and have a feast. Boxo offers free items to everyone due to the calamity in the morning, and people warm up to a slightly alcoholic lemon drink. Later, an intoxicated Lamis makes her way to Boxo and tells him that she's happy that he's become an indispensable part of the village. The next day, Lamis receives a job for rubble cleaning and meets Carriol there, who asks her if she'd like to join his party along with Boxo, but she refuses. Akoe, a woman from the merchant exchange, arrives and tells Lamis that due to the recent attack by the snake monster, they have immediately begun reconstructions in the village, but there is a shortage of silver coins. Lamis tells them that it's probably because of Boxo, so they buy items from him using gold coins, because of which they receive silver coins and change. Later, the director tells Boxo that many diseases are being spread in the village due to humans' disorderly behavior while mating, and calls Shirley, a brothel owner, who is facing the problem. So Boxo sells her condoms, which they agree to distribute among the people. Boxo also starts hosting other functions like betting, jackpot systems, and selling sanitary items like shampoos and underclothes. Later, the director visits Boxo again and asks him if he would agree to camouflage himself in places where the percentage of criminal activity is high. He agrees, and while he's invisible, Sori, a spoiled rich girl, asks Lamis if she'd sell Boxo to her. Still, she rejects her offer and refuses to talk of Boxo as just a mere magical tool. After Sori leaves, Boxo makes himself visible to Lamis and she starts to tell him about her day. A few burly-looking men approach Boxo and tell him that the director has ordered them to reinforce the village walls, which is why they would have to move him somewhere else. Albeit suspicious at first, Boxo allows them to move him since it's on the director's orders, but the men seem to have evil intentions and kidnap him. While traveling, he notices that the man who tried to steal items from him during his first journey is one of them. They make a stop along the way and physically beat him to get him to give them their money. When it doesn't work, they take him to a girl wearing a long coat and tell her to make Boxo cough up the money. After they leave, the girl lights the room up and introduces herself as Hulani. It takes a moment for Boxo to place her, but he finally remembers that she's the girl Lamis wanted him to meet. She starts telling him about the advances she's made in her studies and questions him about various things, while quickly understanding his capabilities even with his limited vocabulary, which leaves him in awe. At night, while Hulani is sleeping, the three guys who kidnapped him enter to attack her, but Boxo quickly subdues them by changing into a machine that sells lewd, pornographic magazines. The guys swiftly take them and escape into their rooms. The following day, after seeing the meager amounts of food they're giving Hulani, Boxo offers her all of the best food items he has, and she gratefully accepts them. Once she's done eating, he gives her soap and shampoos to wash her hair. Later, she decides to take a short nap, but awakens when they hear shouts and loud noises from above them, and find out that the entire Hunters Association is raiding their hideout. Hulami goes to sit near him, and the ceiling collapses on them. Still, Boxo efficiently shields her with his barrier. Yet since he cannot hold it indefinitely, they spot a large bag of gold near where the ceiling collapsed, and he pulls it inside the barrier. Hulami takes out the gold coins and deposits them inside him, until he has enough points to run the barrier for 3 days. Lamis finds him a while later, and they reunite happily. Near them, the vice captain of Carriol's group asks him why he helped find Boxo, when he had nothing to gain from it, and he tells her that it's because they need to accomplish their goal, and for that, they need to use any means possible. Thank you for joining us on this exciting adventure into Reborn as a vending machine. Now I wander the dungeon. If you had a great time and want more, remember to show your support by liking this video, hitting that subscribe button, and ringing the notification bell so you can see our newest content. Until we meet again, take care and stay amazing, all you anime fans out there.